Welcome to another episode of the Football Smack Talk Show. I am your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric.
Welcome in, everybody, to another wonderful Monday evening edition of the show. Glad to be back. We got a lot to talk about as we have a few new coaches on the squad. And we're also going to be talking about a little bit of our plan on how to fix the Eagles through draft free agency. And we're going to try to be as specific as we can. But, we'll leave certain points out, keep you reeled in. But anyway, it is great to be back doing the show. Sorry we got a little bit of a late start, but we are normally at 6 o'clock on Mondays. Daniel checks in. Appreciate it, buddy. What's going on? So we're excited to be doing the show once again on more of a regular basis here on Monday nights. And listen, we have a good amount to talk about. Eric, we have a few new coordinators.
Yeah, it's amazing. You said we have lots to talk about. It's amazing how taking half of a football season off will do that for you. We have a lot to talk about. But yeah, two new coordinators. Look, Vic Fangio. I know I've gotten some mixed reviews. Some people like it, some people don't. I think there's a comfortability here. I think him and Nick know each other. They've worked together before here. And I think this is a good fit schematically. It's not going to be a huge leap from what they've done. You just hope that they get some better results.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And everybody was saying, that they were Desai was kind of a Fangio disciple, but what better than to have the guy who actually knows what he's doing, has had coaching experience, and essentially designed this quote unquote system here. His numbers are certainly are better on paper. I think that combined with a few different things on this roster at certain positions will certainly help Fangio be successful. Now, on the other side of the ball, we got a name that Eagles fans probably are pretty familiar with Kellen Moore, former Cowboy offensive coordinator, then last year with the Chargers. But I will say, numbers wise, they are very good. With the Cowboys, the number one scoring offense. I think with the Chargers, they were a top five. They're a team that certainly likes to put points on the board. They seem to be very creative. They seem to run a lot of motion, which we didn't. The yards after catch, the yards after catch. His Kellen Moore's teams have been in the top five, and obviously the year before when we were in the Super Bowl, we were in the top five. Last year, I think we were 22nd or 23rd. So we need to get back to that, utilizing, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, some of their strengths with the yards after catch. So, I think you're going to find an Eagle fan that's, may not be in love with these. I mean, I don't know if there was a quote unquote perfect pairing to hire out there, but
probably not.
Listen, either way, I think this is an upgrade over what they had. I think this is certainly something that's going to help utilize the offensive weapons of this team with Kellen Moore and basically take a little pressure off of Jalen Hurts, which I felt like he was asked to do everything last year. And, obviously that's a lot for any quarterback to handle. So,
sure.
Yeah,
I hope that with the approach that they have, I hope Jeff Stoutland has a strong voice in the room as far as an offensive game plan, because one thing that Kellen Moore is kind of notorious for, and a downfall of his, is the willingness to abandon the run. And I certainly hope that is something that the rest of the staff is able to voice their concerns and make sure he knows that we have to stick with the running game because he's not known for it.
Well, I know when he was with the Cowboys, they ran the ball fairly decent. So
Yeah, but then I mean, how many times during playoff games? What is it? When they were against the Green Bay Packers, I want to say in 2015. I know he was there, but they had the lead in the second half and ran the ball like 4 times.
okay, so are we? I mean, I'm not.
No, I'm still a fan of the hire. I just
No,
want other
no, no,
people
no.
to-
I'm not trying to be kind of an a-hole here, but are you basing this opinion off of one playoff game? I mean, again, it's kind of important,
No,
but
I'm basing this opinion on what I've seen over the course of his career.
okay. And I would have to say I do slightly disagree with you. I thought.
Look, I hope you're right, but I'm
I
just
mean,
saying that.
the numbers would suggest otherwise. When you're looking at rushing attempts and usage of the running backs, with Dallas Cowboys, they were a top 5 rushing team. And with the Chargers, I don't know those stats off the top of my head, but I would assume that they're probably going to be lower because
Well, Austin Eckler was out for
Austin Eckler was out for a good portion, and they
Yeah.
weren't they weren't a very good defensive team, so they were down quite a bit. So I feel like they were almost kind of.
And I'm willing to understand some of those numbers may be skewed because of that. I'm not pushing the panic button. I'm not saying I don't like the hire. If you remember last week when we talked about possible candidates, I mentioned him as a candidate that I would like. And so I'm just saying it's something to keep an eye on.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, running the ball like 4 times would have been more than what the Eagles were doing. So
anything's better than what they were doing. Yes, I agree with that.
So you would hope that they utilize DeAndre Swift a little bit more. And it's funny to say that because statistically, he had his best career year with us.
Yeah.
Philadelphia. So that just goes to show you the potential I think that Swift can have with the Philadelphia Eagles if utilized correctly.
I was going to ask you, does this hire in your mind make you more or less confident in a DeAndre Swift return? Or does it affect it at all?
I don't. It has to affect it in some way. I just don't necessarily know what his opinion on the matter is.
I'm sure they've had no interaction prior to Kellen Moore getting hired, but I'm just curious.
Yeah. No. Listen, I think something that DeAndre Swift. I know you would love to stay in his hometown. I would hope that the Philadelphia Eagles would want to stick with him. Obviously, I know that the Philadelphia Eagles are not in a big fan of spending money, but on the running back position.
Hey,
but
I could. Well, as far as just spending money, I'm with them there. But
well, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily see them spending a lot of money on a running back, but I think Swift could return for a rather decent deal to continue his career here in Philadelphia. So unless he could get blown away somewhere else and we're out of it, but
I doubt anybody's going to blow away a running back just because of today's market. I just don't think that anybody's going to spend a ton on a running back. So it might be a case of, maybe you could get a little more somewhere else, but are you going to get utilized the same way? Are you going to get the national exposure? And are you going to look? And you mentioned that Swift is a local guy. He's from this area. I imagine if it comes down to like the difference of, pennies, pennies to them, but millions of dollars to us. But if it comes down to just a few bucks here or there, like he might say, you know what, it's worth it for me to take a little less money and to stay home in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem I find. The free agent market is going to be absolutely insanity. Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler. Just to name a few. So he's certainly going to be fighting, to try and be seen in that.
Yeah, he won't be one of the premier, first level guys that you would think of coming off the board. That would be Saquon, and I imagine Derrick Henry
And Josh Jacobs,
and
probably.
Josh Jacobs. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Does Eckler have a year left, or is he?
Eckler's. So,
I was gonna say he's a free agent too, right?
Yeah, he's a UFA. So, So I'm hoping that works for the Eagles in their favor as far as able to kind of get a cheap deal, to retain DeAndre Swift. So we shall see what happens. But real quick, I just wanted to mention everybody in from the Edge of Philly Sports YouTube. Appreciate everybody for checking in and joining in through the Edge of Philly Sports YouTube. We kind of do a little partnership. We stream on their YouTube. They stream on our Facebook. It's a nice little deal that we got going on. And obviously we love all the comments that we get from the Edge of Philly Sports YouTube regulars. So keep them coming. And then, of course, all the guys that work with Edge of Philly Sports are and have been absolutely amazing. So thank you guys for sure. So Eric, I wanted to talk about what you feel like if you could, say Howie Roseman came to you and said, dude, I'm over my head. I need help. Mm-hmm. What are your what's your 5-point plan to fix this team from today? You already have your coordinators. It seems like you're going to be hiring some veteran positional coaches. I'm not sure if it's official, but the former Seattle defensive coordinator is signing on to be the defensive line coach. I know Mike Caldwell, the Jacksonville defensive coordinator, was looking to be the linebackers coach. Again, these are good hires when you're talking about getting people with experience in these positional roles. So,
right. Look, to me, the number one point I have to look at throughout this team, we have to get tougher. We have to get physically and mentally tougher. And I want there to be an attitude on this team, and that is acquiring, free agents, whether it be through the draft or in free agency. I want guys who maybe play with a little bit of an attitude.
Okay.
I want some physicality. I want some guys who are going to be, run around smacking people around.
Okay. All right.
Because I feel like they got pushed around in the second half of the season, and I call it the second half, basically the San Francisco game. Yeah. I just call it that for short because it's the last month and a half.
Yeah, I get that. Listen, I completely understand that sentiment. The defense needs an attitude adjustment. Yeah, and they need to come in and again, I think when you look at some of the great defenses throughout the history of this league, one thing you could pretty much say about all of them is that they had an attitude about them. They had their own kind of, swagger or whatever buzzword you want to use. That they had it, and I think they need to bring some of that back and at least attempt to. That's a good start. All right, what's second thing you do?
Well, and I feel like it's all kind of centered around the same theme of getting tougher. But I also want my second point, I'll just say the tougher practices. I want practices to be I heard Javon Hargraves say the practices between Philadelphia and San Francisco was like night and day. The amount of hitting, and look, I understand you don't want to get guys hurt, and there's a fine line there.
Sure is.
But you want to make sure to build some calluses on your body. Get used to hitting.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, especially for the young folk,
Yeah.
Coming into this league, some of those college practices were brutal, and they're coming in, and NFL practice shouldn't be easier.
No.
So yes, I also heard that same interview with Javon Hargrave, and thought well, that's interesting, and certainly that might explain some things. So okay, tougher practices, better, tougher attitude. What's next?
So my third thing is all about team speed. I need guys who are fast. I want guys who can, whether it be wide receivers, whether it be secondary guys. I want some guys who are burners. Like, can we just start playing with some more speed as well? Like physicality and speed. I mean, those are two things you can't teach speed, and so that is another thing that I would look at and say, wherever you get it. Like I still think in the secondary, and you're gonna love hearing this. Can we get some linebackers? Maybe some linebackers who like to hit, like crave contact. Like,
okay, you know who's really fast?
Yeah,
Quez Watkins.
not me.
We all know you.
Yeah. No, not anymore. I used to be.
Except for when it comes to getting to the fridge and back.
Damn right. I will make it to the fridge, man. It's all about motivation, man.
Exactly. Your 4D time, if you just, founded on that alone, you'd be ranking.
If you put at the end of that 40-yard line and say, Eric, there's a case of beer in there with your name on it, bam.
Hey, there you go.
Look out, Chris Johnson.
Yeah, right. All right. So speed. Okay. What's next?
You know what? Some youth. I need some more youth on this team, and I think that's going to lend to some more speed. But when we look up and down this roster, how many guys are we thinking, hey, we're going to have to replace these guys? Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelce. Those are four guys right off the bat that you're probably like, if they're not gone this offseason, they're going to be gone.
Yeah, Slay, Bradbury.
So I need some youth, some guys in their 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, Slay and Bradbury, two other ones. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right.
What's
all
that
right. Last
for?
but not least. Yeah, last but not least, what do you got?
I want to make sure that I want to harness the relationship of Keller and Jalen Hurts. And I want to make sure that grows as strong as what the Brian Johnson, Jalen Hurts relationship was before Brian Johnson became offensive coordinator. Like, I mean, I want it to feel like they've known each other their whole lives. Like, lock them in a room together. Just, hey, like, go spend some time together. Even get away from football. Just go figure out some things that you both enjoy doing together so you can get to know each other a little more.
Okay.
Like, hey, harness a relationship.
Okay. I'm not sure I'm not sure how old Cora is right now, but what?
And I know they can't do that. I know there's like a time period where they're not even allowed to call each other or something. Yeah,
that's a little tough to do, but yeah. Okay,
but maybe not right now, but when you're allowed to. Yeah.
Okay. So you want an attitude, you want speed, you want youth, and you want a much older white coach to hang out with his much younger black quarterback, even though they may not be allowed to until this season.
Well, no, I'm not saying break any rules. Like, once they're allowed to.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I have to bust your chops. I mean, this is my job.
No. I expect you to. In fact, I'd be disappointed. I think you were mad at me if you didn't.
Yeah, well, you should be, because I would be.
Right.
Yeah. So, hey, real quick, guys. Just wanted to mention Philly Sports Trips. If you are watching this, you're obviously a Birds fan. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're a fan of some other team and you just want to hate. That's fine too. But if you want to go to any Eagles away games, Philly Sports Trips is where it's at. I'm telling you, we have been to that with them multiple occasions. Vince and the guys, are just absolutely killing it. They put on the whole staff puts on such a great show. It's great tailgate, good seats to the tickets. The travel is great. You really can't ask for much more. Some people that former Eagles go. 4th of John, E-Rock is usually DJing or he's setting something up. Philly sports guy. So there's always plenty of stuff to do. I know there's a couple of nice games on the schedule for this upcoming year. I know Baltimore was one that I was thinking of doing. They'll probably do a bus trip down to Baltimore. And honestly, I may just do a goal. We were talking, me and my buddies were talking about potentially just, doing a whole long weekend of it. Go down
to Baltimore for
Friday night, chill in Ann Arbor, whatever, spend all day Saturday there. And then, again, you would assume the game would be Sunday. But, we've gone to Arizona, DC, New York. I know people who've been to the Tampa, Kansas City. So yeah, I mean,
like you said about that idea of going to Baltimore, if say that game were a Sunday game, you go down for the weekend and you can just buy the tickets to the tailgate and just go and tailgate with them. So that way you're not trying to get travel with them. You're just meeting up with them down there. Yeah. That's another option for everybody out there.
Yeah. So, so if you're looking to do anything, please go to their website, phillysportstrips.com. I'm telling you, I cannot say enough good things. They are not an official sponsor of the Philly Sports Alliance, but
we just love them.
I do, honestly. I mean, I will shout from the mountaintops any decent company, product, or whatever that I find useful in my life, and they've hooked me up many occasions. So hats off to Vince. He's really put himself in a nice position to really help out the Eagles fans. So please send him your business if you're planning on going to any away game. Check with them first. First class accommodations, I'm telling you, and the peace of mind. It's all taken care of. You don't have to worry about the travel. You don't have to worry about the hotel. You don't have to worry about the ticket, the tailgate, the whatever, bringing stuff and blah 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 blah. Like it's all taken care of. So do yourself a favor, phillysportstrips.com. All right, Eric. So you just laid out your 5-point plan, save the Eagles. Is there? Can you actually? You know what? I'm gonna again another put you on the spot. And that's kind of what we do. I want you to give me one draftee and one free agent that you want the Eagles to draft and obviously sign. What's your ideal scenario here? You could, it doesn't even have to be a first round pick. You could say second, third, whatever. Again, if there's a guy you like in the fifth that you think is a sleeper, whatever. Draft free agent guy.
You're kind of catching me with my pants down because I haven't paid any attention at all to the draft. I'm not
So wait a minute. You haven't looked at any of my personal shows that I have done with Dives on the top 10 rankings on every single position. In fact, I think all we have left is running back and quarterback, which we will be continuing this upcoming week. You don't know anybody?
I haven't really looked. Look, man.
If I had a gun to your head and I said, Eric, name me 3 players that are going into the NFL draft this year, could you do that?
Oh yeah. I mean, Caleb Williams, who's obviously going to be the top pick.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, you're probably shooting me.
Damn, dude. I've never been.
No, I've not been. You know me. I get into the draft.
I have never been more disappointed in you in my entire life.
Sure, there has to be.
Nope. And there has been so many times in our 25
California, Texas.
Very disappointed. Very. In all of those. Jersey, Pittsburgh,
Jersey,
Wyoming,
Pittsburgh,
whatever.
Jersey. Yeah.
This is what tops it.
Wow.
Your unpreparedness.
Okay, in fairness, you did preface this whole thing by saying you were blindsiding me.
You're right. I did. All right, fine. In lieu of that, give me 2 free agents that you want the Eagles to sign.
Let me just get on the old Google machine here and find the Eagles free agents or free agents in the NFL.
Oh my God, Eric.
Yeah.
I have never been more disappointed in you. All right. Well, I will steal the spotlight back onto myself.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys. And anybody who's seen any show of mine over the past few months, maybe even the past probably year, I have been clamoring for Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Yeah, I like him.
He fits such a need. The story alone is fantastic. I just think the whole thing would be fantastic. Get him in the second round and bring him home to Philadelphia. That is somebody that I would absolutely love. But there are a few linebackers that I really do like. And I will say, if I'm, looking at like first round, obviously they're not going to draft a running back. They're obviously not going to draft a quarterback.
They're not going to draft a linebacker in the first round. I'm sorry. I really wish they would, but they won't.
Well, there's not going to be any linebacker drafted in the first round by any team. Okay. More than likely. So with that all being said, I would be very upset if they went D tackle again. Because again, you just spent 2 first round picks in a row, or 2 years in a row, on the interior, and you have Milton Williams and you have Moriama Jomo. So you have a good core there of rotational. And if they went offensive tackle, I'd be pretty pissed too. Because Lane Johnson essentially has come out and said, hey, I plan on finishing my contract. That's 3 years. I don't want somebody sitting on the bench for 3 years.
Yeah, that's silly. Like, especially an offensive lineman. Like,
right. I don't want it. Don't do it. Listen.
Yeah.
If Kelsey's retiring and you need to figure something out and you want to go, interior offensive line and maybe go after, Barton from Duke or, again, I'm sure I could go and name a couple other guys, but there's a couple other guys that I wouldn't necessarily hate it. That's obviously not a sexy pick. But that to me tells me that you don't think Steen is going to be the guy, but either way, I'd be okay with edge. I'd be okay.
Yeah.
And I'd be
Is there a safety that you would like in the first round?
There's 2 first round safeties, in my opinion, that I really like. And that's Cameron Kitchens from Miami. And that's Tyler Nubin from the University of Minnesota. These are guys that I feel like could come in, bring an attitude. And again, I think I would love nothing more. And I think Reed Blankenship's done an admirable job, but you can make Reed Blankenship your third safety. I'd be real freaking happy with that.
Oh, and this team plays a lot of that quarters defense that includes 3 safeties in the field, so it's not like Blankenship wouldn't get any playing time.
Right, and I'm not saying he would. I'm not trying to kick him off the team. I'm just saying I would love it.
I'm not saying you got to pay for your own parking or nothing, but
But I'd also love to say Nakobe Dean is our 3rd best linebacker. Yeah. Right now, he's our only linebacker.
Not only he's the best by default.
Default. So again, I would love for them to go out and sign a guy. I you know me. I clamored for Patrick Queen a few years ago. He
When's
is
he playing? He's playing next Sunday. Or no, he played this past Sunday in the AFC title game.
wow, Eric.
Sorry.
That almost was inspiring. That was almost. I knew where you were going, and I was like, well, he kind of lost.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit. Like, but I was still kind of in the mind because we were talking about like, because look at the final four teams that were in the conference championship games. Like those teams all have elite linebacker play.
Yeah. So, so he's certainly one of my free agent targets. L'Jarius Sneed. I really like him, corner from Kansas City. He's certainly somebody I'd love. I'd like Antoine Winfield Jr. Again, if you're going to sign a safety,
about him, yeah,
sign a safety, draft a safety, boom, boom. Your safety room is completely, and that's what I'm saying. You could do that. So okay. Philadelphia Eagles we have notoriously neglected the safety and the linebacking position forever. And
their answer to safety and linebackers just get more defensive linemen.
Yeah, and we have signed guys off the couch. We have allocated the least amount of money essentially to both these positions than any other team, and you could change all of that with 2 draft picks and 2 signings. You could change both positions. You draft a safety in round 1. Let's just say Kitchens. You could draft Trot or Cooper, Edgerrin Cooper from Texas A&M in round 2 with the 50 pick. Boom, right there. You sign Queen. You sign Winfield Jr. Boom. Both those rooms look insanely different. Insanely different. That's all I'm saying is what was once your exact weakness could become your strength on your defense. It is so simple. Why did we pass a McDowell? Oh, Aaron. Aaron's going to – I swear to God, Aaron, I love you, buddy. Listen, we all could do it. We could do a whole show on why did we pass on this guy. Why did we pass
Maybe we should do that during the draft process, like do an episode where we just talk about guys we passed on.
Yeah, look at the contributions Lions got from their this year on their draft. Yes, listen. You're saying that Howie completely shit the bed and drafted complete effing idiots. And I don't believe that's the case because I do believe Nolan Smith needed to just get on the field, and for whatever reason, he was only playing in limited action. And when he was out there, he was pretty decent. Jordan Davis, you know what? There's a lot to be said about his conditioning. I think it's a little overblown. I think again, you have larger men playing in a season. Again, remember he was hurt for a good portion last year. He was trying to play a full season this year.
And this was the most football he's ever played.
You're playing 12 games in college. You're going to 17. Like an extra 5 games. That's a lot.
That's almost an extra half a season.
Right. So, and listen, maybe that's to go along to your point of harder practices.
Yeah.
They were a little soft on these guys, and they weren't able to really, get the conditioning up. So, Aaron says there's the problem. Yes. Aaron is a huge Howie hater. And if Aaron has ever been on any in any of the comments in any of our shows, you will find out that information rather quickly, which is fine. I just like in the grand scheme of things, when you look around the NFL and you look, every team knows their own team. Yeah. The fans of their team know their own team better and know exactly who they could have got and blah, 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 and have their own version of Justin Jefferson and Rager, or their own version of JJ Arcega-Whiteside and DK Metcalf, or Brian Branch and Nolan Smith. Again, we can nitpick to blue in the face unless you get the absolute stud at that position and that's available, or, God forbid there's anybody that could have been drafted after, whatever. Let's say there's a guy in like the 5th round. Oh, we should have drafted him in the 1st. Like you could say that about anybody. And
Oh, sure.
But yes, unless you're going to miss more than you hit. And I think Howie's done a halfway decent job. And yes, could he have hit home runs and drafted Kyle Hamilton instead of Jordan Davis? Sure. Could he have drafted Brian Branch instead of Nolan Smith? Sure. And our safety room would be set for the next 10 years and it'd be a lot different story. And, who knows? But
I mean, you don't think the Bears are kicking themselves with the number? Like, they got Mitchell Trubisky. You know who else who came out in that draft? Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like,
yeah. That's why quarterbacks is such a crapshoot. That they miss more than any other position, for sure. So it's he is hate is a strong word. I mean, you are a Howie. What's a slightly less strong word than hate?
Disliker?
Disliker? Displeased in Howie?
Yeah, you're displeased in Howie?
And he's an
not the president of his fan club?
Yeah. No, he's an extreme. Oh! Somebody
Whoa!
Somebody cut that and just go, he's an extremely good GM. I'm gonna frame that and send that to you. However, I don't like their method of
isn't that a sign that he's been abducted by it? Like, how they always have those jokes of I've been kidnapped and I have to post on social media to keep it up. Like,
this
like
would be Aaron. So
Aaron,
this is Aaron. I'm sorry. We're sending the.
We're looking for you, buddy.
We're looking for you, pal. We'll find you, man. We'll get you, buddy. Just hang in there. Help
somebody. If somebody knows somebody, do the zero in on the IP address there. We're going to save you, buddy.
Yep. Nah, I just call him out. You do. Listen, you're right. And listen, it's that philosophy, and I think that's what bogs people down is this trenches, and so here we are sitting and listen. I respect him for trying. There's always going to be a position or two that you're going to have to hold together with duct tape and Gorilla Glue, and unfortunately, it fell apart this year with injuries and the like for safety and linebacker.
When he misses, though, how he misses, he does not go small in his misses.
No, he swings big either way. No, but you're right. My only hope there, Aaron, is because of these misses, and because he royally missed on linebackers and safeties for this roster this past year. I'm hoping that does something in him and says, hey, listen, maybe we should allocate a little bit more money, or maybe we should allocate higher draft picks, or maybe we should scout more safeties and linebackers and really put more emphasis on trying to improve this position however we can. And that's all I really want is an improvement in those areas. And it may not be as grand as I'd hope, but an improvement would be fantastic. And again, I'm hopeful. I'll probably be disappointed, but I'm hopeful that within the first 3 picks, the first 54, that we have 3 of them. I'm hoping out of those we get a safety and linebacker. And I think
I would love safety, linebacker, corner in any order.
Yeah. You know what? Here's a hot take. I don't think they draft a corner.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they need to.
So you'd be cool with rolling into next year with Slay and Bradbury again?
Oh, that you're not doing that. I didn't say that. I also didn't say there wasn't free agency. But I also know that they have a plethora of nice young corners. Yeah. So I again, unless somebody falls into your lap at 22, I don't necessarily, or something like that, where somebody just is like, why is this guy still here? I don't see them necessarily jumping at the chance for a corner, because they're going to need to do something with Bradbury, whether just sit his ass, move him to safety, cut him, whatever. Put him on a train and get him out of town. I don't care. You're going to need to do something. But Ringo, Ricks, McPherson's coming back. You have Rodgers from Indy being reinstated. You have a nice core of youth, depth, and youth at the cornerback position. I just think there are other needs that they need to focus on. So, but yeah, I think the OC volume or higher speaks volumes on Jalen Hurts and his development. Get creative, extend Bradbury, and eat the money for an extra year. Get creative and extend Bradbury. I don't know if I want to extend him.
Well, I think I know what he means. You're not trying to necessarily.
As long as you, yeah. Well, as long as that dead money hit, is
then over a couple of years,
something you can, Thanks. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I didn't get catch on. Yeah, no, I get it now. And yeah, listen, you're right. And maybe they just say screw it and just post June 1st them, but spread those out over 2 years. But yes, kind of an extension of the sort would certainly help with that. And there's no better GM when it comes to contracts and money than Howie. So if there's a will, there's a way. So. But anyway, folks, that's actually it for us tonight. We have to get out of here. But we wanted to appreciate and say thank you to everybody who checked in throughout Facebook, all the wonderful Facebook groups that we share with, and some of the great people that we've met through those Facebook groups. We do thank you guys a humongous amount. Also, Edge of Philly Sports YouTube, Philly Sports Alliance YouTube, all of our YouTube channels. Appreciate you guys there. Twitch, Twitter, X, whatever we're doing now. I guess I should probably update that logo there. But yes, we appreciate everybody. Thank you everybody for commenting. Aaron, appreciate it as well. Daniel, and of course those at Edge of Philly Sports. We will be back next week at 6:00 on Monday, talking a little bit more birds, give you the update, whatever's happened throughout the week, but we'll probably start diving in a little more into, some free agency, some draft. Obviously, we mentioned last week that we still do have to do our round tables throughout this offseason, so we will start figuring out dates, times, locations for that. We'd love to see everybody come out for those. Those are always fun. But yeah, we are excited for this off season. Obviously, we know the Super Bowl matchup, Ravens. You got me doing it. Chiefs at
we were hoping.
That was Lions and Ravens. I got the opposite of what I wanted.
I know.
But oh well. I guess I have to root for the Chiefs then, because there's still the Andy Reid thing and. I don't mind Travis Kelce. I can't.
I'm embracing it. I'm embracing the whole thing. I know everybody's going to hate the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, and I do too, but screw it, man. Give love a chance. I hope Travis Kelce proposes to her at the podium and after the game. Whatever.
That'd be good. That'd be so good.
I'm done fighting.
I hope she somehow gets in a harness, and during the halftime, they pan up to her and she's in a suite, and then she all of a sudden turns around and she's microphone and she gets swooped over and she's on the stage and the whole thing. I would love that kind of crowd. It's so stupid, but it's
screw it. I'm here for it. Whatever. I'm
in for that. Yeah, let's go. Anything but the Niners. So anyway, appreciate everybody. Quick shout out to La Terrain Watches. Head on over to la-terrain.com. For all of your watch needs. They actually have some of the really nicest watches I think I have worn in my day. There's how you spell it. Use code PSA for site-wide discounts, and you will get yourself a sweet-ass watch with a sweet-ass discount. So that's it for us. We'll see you guys next week. We'll talk more birds. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it out to your friends, tell your friends about it. Monday, 6:00, Football Smack Talk Show. We are back. We are full-time in it all the way through this offseason. So, Eric, you got anything to add before we pop on out of here?
No.
All right. Gotta love it. Consistent as always. All right, folks. That's it for us. So for the Football Smack Talk Show, I'm your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody. Only 220 days to go till the next football season.
You depressed the shit out of everybody.
It's going to fly right by, guys. Go Birds!
Go Birds. Good night.